Handheld gaming has always been a huge phenomenon, of course, going all the way back to the original Game Boy, all the way up to the Nintendo Switch. But today we have something even crazier, and it's my first time touching this thing, and it's absolutely a beast so far. But today we're doing an unboxing and review of the AI Neo. Alrighty, sorry for the weird angles. Don't got a lot of good angulature going on here in my basement right now. But again, this is the box, and we pretty much are going to be checking out the outer box. So in the front, of course, we have the symbol. I think I'm holding it the right way. Yep, this is okay. Sorry, this is the right way. We have the AI Neo logo here, and then on the back, it just has some information about the product name, the model, which is the AI Neo. This is the 1.0, by the way, and apparently I was told that this model actually has some issues with the triggers and etc. And they actually sent out replacement ones for people to do whoever got the 1.0s, but I believe there's either a 2.0 or a version after this that has the replaced triggers and stuff like that. So I think that's about it on the box. Again, I have no idea what's in this box other than the AI Neo itself, of course. This is the White Moon version, or the color, I would say. So we are taking the top cover off, and we are greeted with pretty much the information. This is powered by a 6-core AMD Ryzen 5 4500U mobile processor, which is pretty damn good. AMD all the way. We have a 7-inch IPS 215 ppi display, NVMe SSD in here, and 16 gigs of LPDDR4X memory, clocked at 4,267 megahertz. Lord. And this is a 47 watt-hour battery and supports up to 6 hours of gaming, which is pretty darn good. So pretty much, and it has two USB 3.2 ports with support for DP and power delivery, one USB 3.0 port, and I'm pretty sure those two, of course, are USB-Cs, and then headphone jack, as well as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. All right, so with doing this, we are greeted with the AI Neo itself, and I'm just going to do that. Look at that. That thing is a beauty. Holy moly. Again, it's pretty damn huge. Like, it is probably, I'm probably going to do like a comparison with the Nintendo Switch to showcase the size difference here. Let me get this off. This is pretty much just let you know, like where buttons are and like the type of ports it has, that type of stuff like that. Now, this was lent to me by a good friend of mine named the Super High. His YouTube channel will be in the description below. Huge thank you to you. I appreciate this opportunity to do this. This thing is, holy crap, man. Wow. Oh, man, this thing is huge. Like, again, holding it, it has some nice heft to it. I'll tell you that right now. There is the serial number on the back, which I was told he would want me to blur out if there is shown on indication. So I'm going to try to cover my hand. But this thing is huge. It's very nice, very sturdy, has a lot of heft to it again. All right, so to see what else is in the box, lifting this, we're greeted with a couple of things, actually. So this is the power brick, of course, for charging. This is 60 watts. So 60 watt charger, and this is USB-C, of course. This is for, of course, if you live in like Europe and stuff like that, they are happy to give you their specific outlet type. But since we're in the US, not necessary. Oh, nice. We have two USB-C to USB type A converters here, which is pretty darn nice. In case you didn't have any USB-C devices for connectivity purposes, they at least were nice enough to give you this in the box, and two at that. Another type of outlet, I'm not sure what outlet this is for, to be honest. I'm really not sure. And yet again, not too sure what this one's for as well, but pretty much got a lot of customizable stuff here, or whatever needs that you have for this, they pretty much they took care of it. All right, and this is, I'm assuming, the charger cord. Yep, this is a USB-C to USB-C cable here for charging purposes, which I'm not going to be using because I'm actually going to just see how this performs, because you are able to, or you should be able to, dock this with the USB-C dock, and I happen to have one, so we are going to be testing its docking capabilities as well as its handheld gaming capabilities and things of that nature. I think that is probably everything in the box. We're going to see if there's anything under. Nope, that was it. All right, so we're going to move on to pretty much what we're here for, which are the specs and whatnot. All right, before we move on to the actual like seeing how it does in an actual gaming experience, again, from a handheld perspective, as well as a docked setup, as long as it works. We're going to go over the actual specs one more time, but making sure that I haven't missed anything. So we're working with the 7-inch 1280 by 800 resolution here on the screen, 215 pixels per inch. Now you are going to be working with the 60 hertz refresh rate, so this isn't like a 144 refresh rate type of gaming experience. Nonetheless, that's still perfectly fine, at least in my opinion, but it won't be really much for competitive gaming, such as doing like Fortnite competitions and stuff like that, because typically 60 hertz is really on the low end. However, I mean, it's something that I'll be willing to, I guess, sacrifice, at least on my end, when it comes to being able to game on such a portable type of experience here. I mean, that's crazy enough to have something that's, again, I'm going to do a size comparison with the Switch, but to have something in this form factor is pretty darn nice. We're working with an AMD Ryzen 5 4500U. This has 6 cores and 6 threads, so this isn't hyper-threaded or anything like that, but 6 cores and 6 threads are plenty. We are working with RX Vega 6 graphics on the device, a whopping 16 gigs of RAM. And again, this is LPDDR4X. And again, it's clocked at 4,266 megahertz, which is pretty crazy. I mean, Ryzen chips do very good on high speed RAM. So you're not going to have any issues at all, I would think. You have 2 storage options here and there, both M.2 NVMe SSDs. You have either 512 gigabytes or 1 terabyte of storage, which very nice for gaming. That's pretty much all you would need. And as mentioned before, you're working with 2 USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports with charging support and DP. Again, that shows me in a docking scenario that this should work. A USB-C data only port and a headphone jack. And I did say this has some heft, but apparently it weighs only about 1.5 pounds. Feels heavier than that in my opinion, but hey, maybe I'm just weak. All right, so without further ado, we're going to see how this thing games. I'm going to be testing each game via playing handheld as well as docked, just to see how it does, although it shouldn't really differ, but at least you are able to have both of those gaming experiences. But we're going to see how it really holds up when you have it in our hands, because it may be awkward, it may not be. We're going to see. All right, so I just docked this up, and we are up on my monitor. I am going to have OBS Studio running in just a sec, recording the gameplay. So do, of course, take that into consideration when we are getting frames and whatnot, because, well, as you know, it takes away some frames when you're also recording and whatnot. But we're going to see what the capabilities of this thing could do. I don't think you can stream and play games on this, but who knows? You probably could. Now, the fans on this thing are a bit loud, but it is such a small form factor. I mean, what can you do? It has to dissipate the heat somewhere, and I mean, for what it's doing, hell, that's gonna be a lot of heat that it needs to deal with. Verified that we have Ethernet. Again, it's charging, and now I did have to, of course, install some games before the video was done. So far, we have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, CSGO, and as well as Fortnite. Now, I am downloading Grand Theft Auto 5 as we speak, but yeah, that's 100 and something gigs, so it might just be downloading as we're playing a game. I don't freaking know. We'll see about that. But nonetheless, we're going to be playing, let's do some CSGO first, just to see how things go. Editor Darius here. So, 2 things. One, but I forgot to mention this entirely. I have made a second channel for tech and gaming content. So for this exact video, as well as things in the future that I may be posting related to gaming and tech, please be sure to subscribe to the new channel, djb GT, or djb Gaming and Tech, to simplify it, I guess. It'll be in the description below. We are almost at 200 subs, which is pretty cool. I appreciate that. But yeah, again, there will be some, of course, of those videos on this channel as well as on that channel is at the same time, because I'm trying to, of course, get people migrated over to that channel, whoever cares for that type of content, that type of thing. So again, please support and please subscribe. Get me to 1,000 subs over there, because yeah, that'd be freaking cool. Next thing, and the bigger thing really. So in this review, I of course tested the AI Neo from a docked standpoint as well as handheld. Yeah, so when I had it docked, I used OBS Studio to record the gameplay, because that's what I would typically do, of course. Now, I had my doubts in the sense that I even said, you know, I'm not too sure if it can stream, but hey, who knows? Yeah, definitely can't stream. At least, yeah, I don't think it will stream pretty much at all. Maybe at 720p or something, maybe, I'm not too sure, because the native resolution being at 800p, it's a possibility. But what ended up happening is when I was recording, I did record at 1080p. The problem, again, it was not its native resolution, and essentially the gameplay recordings were crap. Like, they did not work at all. I'm talking about it would freeze and freeze and freeze. There was no solid gameplay being shown out. As I was playing it, it wasn't doing that per se. The recording is what jacked up. Not too sure what happened there, but again, I think it was too much processing that was going on for the chip to handle, or maybe I'm not exactly too sure, because again, with the resolution being higher than it typically supports, although it can support higher resolution, of course, due to the display port, I think 1.4, that the USB-C port is capable of doing. But I think it was just too much. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not too sure. But I do want to say that something happened when it was docked. But do not fret, I will say CSGO was able to play, and I think it was able to play on medium and to high settings just fine. And Fortnite was kind of laggy, but the settings could have been a lot better. I was trying to play on medium, I believe, at 1080p, but it could definitely play at low or with performance mode on. Again, I couldn't find that. In GTA 5, it was able to run around 30-ish frames per second. However, I tested it without realizing at 1200p, which is higher than 1080p. So we're looking at maybe in the 40s. So nonetheless, it's definitely an experience that you can do docked. I couldn't play Call of Duty. Again, I did mention that in the video. But this is definitely a dockable experience, but I still stand by what I'm going to say at the end of the video. But nonetheless, I just want to jump in here and let you guys know that. But thanks. Let's carry on with the video. You do have dedicated buttons such as Windows. You have the escape key. TM is for task manager. And you actually have a keyboard dedicated button as well once you go into a field that requires it. All right, just to let you guys know, there are volume buttons here. So just to also let you know, I tried to play Call of Duty Cold War, but unfortunately would not load at all. It would say that I was checking the files, and every single time, and this was when it was docked, as well as handheld, I could not get the game to load, and maybe having like server issues at this time. So unfortunately, I'm unable to check how good this can handle Call of Duty Cold War. But I have a slight feeling that it should be just fine, to be honest. I am trying CSGO. Here's the thing about this. CSGO is mouse and keyboard. I don't know if this is going to work. So we are going to see together if CSGO can even run on this device without being docked. Worst kind of worst, you can't connect the mouse and keyboard with adapters, which you have the two USB-C to Type A adapters, and you would be able to utilize that. So again, let's see. Yeah, so far no luck. Yeah, so far we are unable to play CSGO. So this is a no-go, unfortunately, on the handheld mode for this. So if you are a CSGO player, this is definitely not for you, unless you have to use a mouse and keyboard. Okay, for some odd reason, with Fortnite on this, I am not hearing anything. Now, it did work for CSGO when CSGO did not work when I had it docked. But we are going to do another auto set since this is running on its 800p resolution here. So it went to medium settings. So we are going to, of course, save that, and we are going to load into a game to see how it does. And I just lied. I can actually hear the game, but it is very low, and I have turned this up all the way to the max. The speakers are a bit underwhelming, I would say, but I wouldn't worry too much about that, as you can plug in a pair of headphones and you'll be able to hear the game, I would say, quite well. There is little to no lag so far, which is good. Now, I wasn't able to find the performance settings or performance mode, excuse me, for this game, which will give you a lot more frames, but just have a lot of your settings on pretty much the lowest possible, which will give you like a better competitive experience. But so far, this is running very smooth at a constant like 40 to 50 frames. On the handheld, it is definitely a better experience than docking it. Textures are loading in just fine, and obviously the GPU is going to be your bottleneck here due to the fact that this is onboard graphics and things of that nature. So let's get here. I don't know if we're going to be able to find someone right away. Let's see here. Wait, am I getting shot at right now? I hear someone. Where are you at? It's a good haptic feedback. Oh, getting shot. See if we can kill him. Come on. All right. And yeah, I figured I would die. Jesus Christ. So things such as Grand Theft Auto 5 so far And Fortnite, again, it was definitely playable. Cold War, you may have to play on low. That is my assumption here, based on how these games are doing. Again, unfortunately, CSGO does not work because you need a mouse and keyboard. It does not work with a controller type of input. So, unless there's a way to around that, I'm not too sure of. Let me know. Again, so we're looking at the 50s in this most demanding area. Actually, again, jumping into the 60s and 70s. So we're actually doing pretty okay still. Wow, even jumping into the 80s. Again, GTA 5 is definitely more than playable on this device. There's a KB button, but which I would assume is for keyboard, but is not working. But you do have these buttons which work, and again, not too sure what these do. That's Xbox Game Bar, and I'm assuming this is maybe for brightness. I'm not too sure, but just to show you the keyboard scenario. Again, you have a pretty nice, decent sized keyboard, but the travel, again, is kind of awkward using your thumbs. It's better to put it on a desk, to be honest, lay it flat, and use your fingers. So my thoughts on the AI Neo, I would say that it's definitely a great thing to have if you are into this type of form factor with portable gaming. But in my honest opinion, I think that for the price tag, which it is at $925 for the 512 gigabyte model, or $1,025 for the 1 terabyte model, I think you're honestly better off getting a gaming laptop. There are actual like better deals that you can find right now for gaming laptops with actual GPUs instead of onboard graphics that it is utilizing with the Vega graphics. And I mean, again, for the experience, definitely comfortable. There are a little bit of quirks and awkwardness when it comes to trying to use the touchpad keyboard to type. It's actually better to put it like on the desk and use your fingers instead of your thumbs. But again, I would say the experience is definitely one that I enjoyed, but I would honestly stick with getting a gaming laptop. That's especially if you're trying to use a dock setup. But this is still a very great thing to have, especially again, if you prefer this type of form factor. It's easy to bring with you. Just throw it in like a carrying case and you can just pull it out. Literally is ready to go. Definitely let me know below what your thoughts are about the AI Neo. Let me know also if you would pick this up or not. Let me know what I could have done better. Again, this is me trying to get into the groove of things with doing tech videos more. So there will be a lot of changes going forward with doing things like this. I know I got some work that I need to do and improve on, but let me know what I can improve on if you will let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. It has been DJB. Peace out.